Hey everyone, this is Ian with AlphaCars and Royal Enfield Boston. Today I've got a very exciting Royal Enfield to share with you. This is the all-new 2023 Hunter 350 and it's in the Dapper Ash colorway, one of my personal favorites. And in this video we're going to talk about why the Hunter stands out from the rest of the lineup with some of the kind of new design elements on it. And we'll go over the features, specifications, and talk about that 3-year unlimited mileage warranty. If you're new to the channel, welcome to AlphaCars. We share daily motoring content like this exciting Royal Enfield, so definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. But now, let's take a closer look at this Hunter 350. Let's start out by talking about really the main question I think everyone's asking is what's the difference with the Hunter? What's the new design element, or what's the new purpose of this machine, I guess? Well, the main difference is it has an all-new frame. It's a twin down-tube spine frame using the engine as the stressed member. So we can see there's no frame rails below the engine. So the engine is part of the structural integrity of the frame. The Hunter has a shorter wheelbase than the Meteor and Classic. Lighter weight as well, 399 pounds wet weight. I believe that's between 20 and 30 pounds lighter than the Classic and Meteor. There's a different frame geometry as well. It's tighter, revised rake angle, and we have 17-inch alloy wheels front and rear for more agile handling and quicker steering. And with the geometry changes and those 17-inch wheels, even just in a parking lot, this Hunter feels awesome. It feels light on its feet, so to speak, ready to change direction, super agile. So Royal Enfield kind of markets this as a really kind of urban machine to dart around city streets. And I mean, even out here in the countryside on the back roads, it's really good at everything, but especially tight quarters, tight turns, quick maneuvers. That's what this Hunter is all about. So let's talk about that 350. 20 horsepower, 19.9 foot-pounds of torque. And I will mention, it really feels like it's more powerful than that because most of the power, and especially the torque, is down low. So it just pulls right off of idle. It's really a pleasant power plant with a good power band. 5-speed gearbox. So we can see our shifter down here. We'll get into how comfortable this bike is to sit on, kind of the ergonomics, but I will tell you it is a very natural position and very comfortable. Of course, it's air and oil cooled. So it has these nice cooling fins on the cylinder jug, and coupled with just the oil in the engine, that will keep things at the safe operating temperature. And it can keep it that classic look. There's no complications of liquid cooling, another fluid to change, or more hoses or radiators to worry about damaging or changing over time. These are fuel injected. So behind these nice looking side covers, there is a throttle body in there with a fuel injector in it. And the fueling on these bikes, I've talked about this in many of my other Royal Enfield videos. They really are dialed. They cold start very easily. They run very smooth. Unlike a carbureted bike where you have to wait a little bit for it to warm up, of course depending on the model, or you're kind of fooling with a choke for a little while it warms up. These, you literally just hit the start button and go, and it's perfectly safe to ride, as you're waiting for a carbureted bike to warm up and you might not want to get out in traffic when that engine is cold. So with that fuel injection system, they are very, very efficient. Royal Enfield says they will yield around 85 miles to the gallon. So with a 3.4 gallon fuel tank, you're gonna have lots of smiles between fuel stops and not be worried if you wanna hit the open road for an afternoon, not be worried, to find a gas station. So now getting onto the suspension and wheels and brakes. I did touch on that a little bit already. But 5.9 inches of ground clearance, and the rear shocks have 6-step adjustable preload, and it does come with the tool to do that. We can see the little kind of adjuster cam there. So if you have a passenger or luggage, or you just want the bike to handle a certain way, you can adjust your spring preload there. The Hunter has standard ABS front and rear. Starting in the rear, because that's where we are right now, 270 millimeter disc with a single piston caliper. And we can see it's a floating design and it is drilled. And nice big front rotor on these, 300 millimeters, 2-piston caliper, same thing, floating design. And I really like how of course the rotor surface is bare, the braking surface, but the inside is painted, so that'll prevent corrosion and rust down the line, and I think it just looks very clean as well. You'll find on these Royal Enfields, the attention to detail is really, really so good. I work around these bikes every day, and almost every day I'm finding like this little thing or that little thing they kind of went out of their way to do, and I just really appreciate that, and I know you will too the moment you see one of these in person. So as far as the seat height, very approachable, pretty low, 31.1 inch seat height. And talking a little bit just about the design of the bike, I think this is one of my most favorite Royal Enfield models right now. I think the styling, the design, it looks awesome. You've got that thick rear tire with an aggressive tread pattern, and then that smaller front tire for that aggressive turn-in with the handling. And it's very simple, very cleanly designed, and I like the little bit of graphics they have on here, especially with this colorway, kind of like a seafoam green, kind of mint aspect to it, and even a little bit of rim tape with a Royal Enfield logo on those alloy rims. But it's not over the top, flooded with tons of colors and graphics everywhere. I just think it's very clean and very classy looking. And these sound great too. We will hear it shortly. I'll take it for a spin in the parking lot. These sound a bit more aggressive than the Meteor and Classic because this exhaust is specific to the Hunter. It's a new item. So now let me throw a leg over it. Well, actually, before I do that, because it's on a center stand, that's another great value feature that these come with as standard. Unfortunately, most new bikes now don't really come with center stands anymore, and they're hundreds of dollars to buy, and depending on the labor, if you're gonna pay someone to do it, and depending on your bike's design, of course, usually it's another few $100s to have them installed. So I like that Royal Enfield has kind of kept with that classic tradition of having a center stand on a bike, because they are so useful. It's a good way to store the bike. We can see it's straight up, no wasted space. And I can turn my wheel here if I want to do some chain maintenance, or even remove a wheel if I'm going to change a tire. Really just an awesome standard feature, adds a lot of value in my opinion, and these bikes are already priced at such an incredible value. So now that I am sitting on it, the seat is very comfortable, and it's a very nice riding position, kind of straight upright. And when you're going down the road, there's not a whole lot of weight on your hands, but it's not totally upright, a little bit of a slight forward position, but just not enough to put a lot of weight on your arms and on your hands. So we can see we have the foot peg in our shifter and the other foot peg in the brake. I like the little brake pedal they have on the Hunter, kind of knurled edging on it, and it's all very natural where things are placed. But now going over the dash and controls, of course we have the clutch. These have a USB charger as standard. If I show you, it's a bit tricky of an angle, but if you look right here, you can see there's this cap I just opened. That's a factory USB charger. Very discreet placement. As you saw, it was a little difficult to show on camera. But so then if you want to put your phone or GPS, you can run just like a 1-foot cable along the factory harness and have it be a very clean install. Now getting back to the controls, I did mention we're on our clutch side. I like these 3-way switches, so it's always on low beam, which is where it's on. That's high beam, and then flash to pass, you press it in. It's a momentary switch. And where you're used to high beam or momentary high beam being is this back switch here, but this actually controls the multifunction gauge there, so we will get into that in a second. Of course, we have our blinkers, not self-canceling, so make sure to press those out when you're done. And we have our horn. And then on the throttle side, we have throttle, front brake, another nice three-way switch with the nice kind of Royal Enfield logo on there. So I like what Royal Enfield even did with these switches. They could have left them blank, but they didn't. They just made them really an appealing item to look at. So that I really do appreciate. So right now we're in the run position. That's kill, and start, you'll just bump it in to the left. And another big value feature, in my opinion, that these bikes have as standard, four-way flashers. So all we do is turn the key on, flick our switch, and we can even turn the key back off and they'll stay on. Very safe feature. If unfortunately we were in a situation where we wanted to use these, once again, I think it adds a lot of value. There's a lot of bikes priced a lot higher than this Hunter, and they don't even have four-way flashers on them. While we're talking about the kind of ergonomics and controls, I will mention the grips. They are like a soft touch rubber. We can see it can flex there. Very comfortable grips. Really the only reason I would change these out is to put heated grips on it. I wouldn't just change a normal grip. I think these are great. And once again, there's a lot of bikes in a higher price point that the grips are kind of feel like plastic and kind of uncomfortable. So just another win for Royal Enfield there. I just think they're doing a great job with these bikes and putting the thought and value into things where it really matters. So I just turned on the key here. We can see we have a gear indicator. So I'm in gear 0. If I click down into first, it'll show, actually click into second, it'll show gear second. We'll show first, just the way the bike's sitting with the mesh of the gearbox. I'd have to roll it to go into first. We have a fuel gauge. I'm trying to get a good angle here with the reflections. Fuel gauge right here on the outer edge. So we can see we're almost full. It does go all the way to the F there. We have our odometer. And now using this switch, or this button rather, if we press that, it goes to trip A, trip B, back to our odometer. And then to reset our trip, we need to just be on the respective trip. So we're on trip B. I'm just gonna press and hold. And a couple seconds later, it goes back to 0. Very easy, very intuitive. And lastly, of course, we have our little clock on there too. I love the design of this speedometer. I think it looks great. And we have our little array of warning lights as well. So now let's start it and hear this thing run. So we're in neutral, and all we have to do is bump the starter. As I said, the fueling on these bikes are dialed. Starts right up, and we can see the ABS light has remained on. That is normal as by design. You have to roll forward a few feet to have the ABS system do a self-check and get a signal. And once it does that, that goes out on its own. So just be aware of that. That is by design. Very smooth running engine. Sounds really nice. I'll give it just a couple small revs for you. So now turning this off, I will take it for a spin so you can hear it in action, but I will let it warm up a little bit before I do that. But we could hear that exhaust. Really, it gives it a nice throaty sound, kind of gives it a little bit of an aggressive nature. It's really not loud at all. It's just a very nice tone to that 350. It really brings out the true thumper in it. People call the big single cylinder bikes. So lastly, before I take it for a spin, let's just talk about that warranty real quick. 3 years unlimited mileage warranty. So you could ride your Royal Enfield around the world in those first 3 years, and you'd still be in factory warranty. Unlimited mileage, that really just shows how much Royal Enfield stands behind their product. We sell hundreds of these bikes a year, and we see little to none come back for warranty concerns. I cannot think of the last time we had a bike in for a warranty concern. They're really European quality, and it's really evident the moment you see one in person. And you know, working here, like I said, we sell hundreds of these, we service them, we assemble them out of the crates. Seeing that side of it as well, they really are sorted and reliable, and you can really, even once that 3-year warranty is up, you can really trust that it's going to get you where you need to go for a long time. As far as accessories goes, I don't have any specific accessories to tell you about right this second, but I know Royal Enfield's already released a few cool accessories for these, so definitely check out our e-store. We will put accessories on there for you to check out as they become available from Royal Enfield, and we can ship parts all over the world right to your door. So definitely just give our e-store a look. I think you'd be pretty surprised on how many fun accessories are on there. But now let me throw a leg over it. I'm going to set up the camera and put the microphone on the camera so you can hear the bike in action. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you're well informed now on the new Hunter 350, and we do have a selection of these available right now here at AlphaCars, and we do ship them. You don't have to be local if you want to pick one of these up from us. We handle all the logistics. So definitely check out our website or give us a call at 978-263-9000, and we'd be happy to talk Royal Enfield with you. Thanks for watching this video. Please leave a like and subscribe so then you don't miss the daily motoring content we give you.